The number 7, just a number or the key that explains the entire universe? Before you answer, hear me out. In 1973, American mathematician Mario Livio sat in front of mountains of cosmic data. After years of research, he discovered something that unsettled him. Numbers repeating in nature in ways that couldn't be explained by chance alone. And leading all of them was one number that kept showing up everywhere, in the sky, in the earth, in your own body, and in the deepest book humanity has ever known. The number 7. Pause for a second. Right now, you're breathing air carried by 2 lungs that work through 7 layers of tissue. The water you drank today passed through 7 layers of soil before it reached you. The light you're seeing right now breaks into 7 colors. Is all of this just a coincidence? Let me take you on a journey, not a purely religious one and not a purely scientific one either. A journey to the edge of the human mind, where science and faith stand face to face and ask together, who put this number here? Let's start at the beginning, with the first way the universe is described in Islam. The Quran says in Surah At-Talaq, verse 12, Allah is He who created 7 heavens, and of the earth a similar number. 7 heavens, 7 earths. This isn't a passing detail. This is the very first description the Quran gives of the structure of all existence. And what's striking is that modern physics, specifically superstring theory, suggests the universe isn't made of 3 dimensions as we're used to, nor 4, but contains additional folded dimensions. When the total number of dimensions in the most well-known versions of this theory is calculated, the number 10 or 11 appears. But in an older, more foundational bosonic model, the proposed number was 16. And in some simplified models describing dimensions separate from time, the number 7 appears. This isn't proof, but it's a question worth pausing on. Maybe you'll say, okay, that's in the Quran and in theoretical physics. What about the reality I actually live in? Let me show you something. You walk every day without thinking about how walking works. Your body moves according to a precise system you don't consciously control. And that system relies on 7 cervical vertebrae holding your head up, 7 openings in your skull giving you sight, hearing, and smell. And your eye itself sees the visible light spectrum, made up of 7 basic colors, as Isaac Newton first identified in 1672 in his book Optics. And the music that calms your nerves and rests your heart, it's built from 7 basic notes: do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. This wasn't a random human agreement. Scientists found that these 7 notes correspond to natural frequencies produced by vibrating bodies following the laws of physics. 7 in your body, 7 in your senses, 7 in sound, 7 in light. Now here's the question that should keep you up at night. Who programmed all of this around one single number? And let me show you something even deeper. The Quran itself, not just in its content, but in its linguistic structure, carries a special relationship with the number 7. Researchers in Quranic numerical patterns, including studies by Abdel-Razak Naufal in his book The Quran and Modern Science, documented that the word day appears in the Quran 365 times, matching the days of the year, and the word month appears 12 times, matching the months. But even more striking, the word 7 and its derivatives always appear in fundamental cosmic and theological contexts, never randomly. Now here, I have to be honest with you. This kind of statistical analysis requires rigorous academic verification, and some of the figures circulating on this topic haven't been confirmed through strict scholarly methodology. So I'm not presenting these as hard proof, I'm presenting them as genuine questions that deserve reflection. Now let me show you what's fully and scientifically documented. Cognitive psychology, specifically the famous study published by George Miller in 1956 in Psychological Review, titled The Magical Number 7, Plus or Minus 2, proved that human working memory can hold 7 items at once, give or take 2. This isn't an opinion, it's a documented psychological law taught in universities around the world to this day. Your mind was literally designed to process the world in units of 7. Then there are the days, 7 days in a week. And this system wasn't invented by Islam alone, it exists in Mesopotamian and ancient Egyptian civilizations, in Jewish culture, in Roman culture. Historians say this system appeared independently in cultures that had no contact with each other. So how did they all land on the same number? Was there something in the very nature of time itself that guided them to this choice? Now I want you to stop for a moment. Think about your own life. A baby takes its first steps around the 7th month. The earliest memory most people can recall is around age 7. Religious traditions across civilizations speak of 7 years as a cycle of personal change. And biology confirms that many of your body's cells fully renew themselves approximately every 7 years, though the rates vary by cell type, as multiple biological studies in the 21st century have documented. You are literally a different person every 7 years. So why, with all of this, do we barely pay it any attention? German philosopher Gottfried Leibniz once said, "The universe is the best of all possible worlds, and its organization carries the mark of an infinite mind." Leibniz wasn't talking about the Quran, but he was talking about something every person who looks deeply at the universe feels, that this precise arrangement doesn't look anything like chaos. And mathematician-philosopher Bertrand Russell, who was agnostic, said plainly, "The mathematical order of the universe astonishes me, and I cannot explain it by pure chance." 2 men from completely different backgrounds, arriving at the same sense of wonder. Now I want to show you something that brings everything into a single point. The Kaaba, the holiest site on earth for Muslims, is circumambulated by pilgrims 7 times. The walking between Safa and Marwa is 7 times. The throwing of pebbles at each Jamarat is 7 pebbles, all 7. Is this a surface-level coincidence, or is there a deeper logic that tied worship to the very structure the universe is built on? American physicist Paul Dirac, one of the greatest quantum physicists in history and Nobel Prize winner in 1933, wrote, "God used beautiful mathematics in creating the world." He wasn't religious in the traditional sense, but he couldn't explain the universe without hinting at an intentional structure behind it. And here the mind stands before 3 options, and only 3. Either the number 7 repeats across all of these places, in the cosmos, the earth, the body, the memory, the music, the light, and time itself by pure coincidence. And that requires blind faith that millions of simultaneous accidents produced a perfect interlocking system. Or human beings are psychologically wired to see patterns wherever they look, what psychologists call apophenia, the mind's tendency to find connections where none exist. This is a genuine scientific explanation that deserves to be taken seriously. Or, and this is the third option, there is an original design embedded in the fabric of existence, and this number isn't random at all. It's one of the signatures of the designer. Which of these convinces you? But I won't answer for you, because that's exactly what sets you apart from a machine, your ability to reflect and choose. Imam al-Ghazali said in the revival of the religious sciences, contemplation is the obligation of hearts. And Einstein said, a mind that never wonders is a dead mind. Wonder. Question. Don't rush toward the answer, because the universe was made of questions before it was ever made of answers. And before I close, one question I want you to carry with you tonight. If the number 7 governs the heavens, the earth, the body, the memory, the music, the light, and time itself, what does that say about the nature of the universe we live in? And what does it say about the being who designed it? This isn't only a religious question, It is the hardest question the human mind has faced since it first began to think. If this video made you stop and think for even a moment, share it with someone who deserves this kind of wondering. And if you want more of this depth, the channel Be.LIMITLESS is waiting for you. Subscribe, because meaningful content deserves to reach everyone who's searching for answers.